he didn't know what life was all about. When his mama introduced him to his first Brussels sprout, he took one bite and said, "Mama, this stuff makes me wanna hurl." She pointed at him and said, "Son, there are kids starving all over this world. Put a little ketchup on it, it'll help it go down easy. Some things in life are hard to swallow, but trust me and believe me, there'll be a little sunshine, and there's gonna be a little bit of rain. When it's hard to do the right thing, just smile and don't complain. Put a little ketchup on it." He sure loves his beautiful wife. She's almost perfect, but she can't cook to save her life. He thought about saying something, but he knows there's a better way. He grabs that old red bottle, 'cause he can hear his mama say, "Put a little ketchup on it, it'll help it go down easy. Some things in life are hard to swallow, but trust me and believe me, there'll be a little sunshine, and there's gonna be a little bit of rain. When it's hard to do the right thing, just smile and don't complain. Put a little ketchup on it." If it's baked, if it's toasted, if it's fried, if it's roasted, don't let what's good go to waste, 'cause you don't like the way it tastes. Put a little ketchup on it, it'll help it go down easy. Some things in life are hard to swallow, but trust me and believe me, there'll be a little sunshine, and there's gonna be a little bit of rain. When it's hard to do the right thing, just smile and don't complain. Put a little ketchup on it, put a little ketchup on it, a little Heinz ketchup on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Are you ready? It's showtime. Please welcome Tim Kelly.
He's not the kind of guy to show up in a suit and tie, but he can clean up real nice if he wants to. And he'll tell you that he's tough, but it's the simple kind of stuff that makes him cry, like when he's real proud of you. And he's just the kind of guy you want on your side in a fight. And luckily for me, he is always on mine. Oh, I get to have the same blue in my eyes. I get to share that same smile. And one day I'll grow up, find someone and fall in love. He's gonna walk me down the aisle, and at the end I'll be content if he's at least half the man my father is. He's normally the right one, but in the rare case he's the wrong one. He'll spend the day trying to even out the score, and his faith could move a mountain. And if you asked him about it, oh, he'd talk to you all day long and more. I know he'll always pick me in the end. And I hope that he knows he'll always be my best friend. Oh, I get to have the same blue in my eyes. I get to share that same smile. And one day I'll grow up, find someone and fall in love. He's gonna walk me down the aisle. And at the end I'll be content if he's at least half the man my father is. Oh, I get to have the same blue in my eyes. I get to share that same smile. And one day I'll grow up, find someone and fall in love. He's gonna walk me down the aisle. And at the end I'll be content. At the end I'll be content if he's at least half the man my father is.
There is a great Father's Day song which is coming up in a couple of days. Her name is Ansley Davison. Brand new music called Half the Man. And before that, Stevie Lee Woods, my good friend from Branson, Missouri, kicking things off with Putting a Little Ketchup on It. Must have heard that one on the radio. Well, we are on the radio. Welcome to the Tim Kelly Show, live from Branson, Missouri, the live entertainment capital of the world. Stevie Lee Woods will be hitting the stage at the Branson Star Theater with the Nashville Roadhouse live show at 8 p.m. Central Time tonight. If you got tickets to that show, you are a lucky person. I went and saw it last Saturday night. Fantastic show. The Nashville Roadhouse Live Band rocks the house, and you are in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. It's right on the 76th Strip behind the Olive Garden. Tell them Tim Kelly sent you, and if you're not there yet, go get your tickets. It's a great, great show. We got a great show planned tonight. At the bottom half of this first hour, my good friend Miss Robbie Hart will be joining us on the program. She's got a brand new single out called Sticks and Stones. She's an award-winning singer-songwriter, so you're in for a treat with that interview, and that will happen in just a little bit. But first, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to all of the stations that replay this program. Great radio stations like KUHS Denver at KUHSdenver.com, Country Road 58 from Germany, countryradio.musicbox4friends.com from Belgium, devilscountryradio.com, radiotheking.be, also from Belgium, WVMIradio.com, realradio.us, downtheroadradio.com from Ireland, Bourbon Trail Radio, bigrecords.world/radio. We are on Top Shelf Radio Texas, RadicalOnlineRadio.com. We are affiliated with LakeParadiseRecords.net, a great Sony Orchard record label. FreedomJamUSA.net. The Freedom Jam is going to happen in St. Louis, Missouri come September. You got to check that out on all of our music pages as well. And we are brand new this week on TuneIn. TuneIn.com. Just search The Tim Kelly Show in the podcast section. We are also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just search The Tim Kelly Show and you will find us. How about this next gentleman from Adair, Oklahoma? His name is Cody Hibbard. This is called Looking Back Now on The Tim Kelly Show on KICR, Indie Country Radio, playing new country's best on New Music Friday.
Looking back now, I'd have done things different. A lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda dones, but I didn't. Now I'm standing alone in the kitchen, just wishing I'd have took the time to listen some more. Held her hand and held every door. Ended every night and started every morning with some kisses. But you can't go back on a yesterday. Now I'm right in the middle of too little too late. Looking back now, I'm the reason that the fire burned out. If anybody let anybody down, it was me. And now I see why she walked down. Looking left her no choice. She needed a man, but I was just a boy. And now it's just me, in the memory of her leaving me. Just looking back, now I'm the reason that the fire burned out. If anybody let anybody down, it was me. And now I see why she walked down. Looking back, now it's coming in clear and loud through the silence of this empty house. I bet she's digging up goodbye gravel on her way out of town, and she ain't looking back now. Looking back now, I'm the reason that the fire burned out. If anybody let anybody down, it was me. And now I see why she walked down. Looking back, now it's coming in clear and loud through the silence of this empty house. I bet she's kicking up goodbye gravel on her way out of town. Bet she's got that car pointed west with that hammer rolling down. And she ain't looking back now. She ain't looking back now.
It's time for today's newest country music, Indie Country Radio, with Tim Kelly.
Hey Dad, what a memory. Just found a note that you wrote to me for my lunchbox back in 3rd grade. Hey honey, hope you have a great day. Flashback to a simple time, hair in the breeze, teaching me to ride on that pink bike. In the summer sun, you were running and cheering like a stadium. When you let go, I didn't know we both got a little older. I thought that I'd spend my whole life riding on your shoulders. Hey Dad, lately I've been missing waking up, seeing you in the kitchen, making jokes just to hear you laugh. Wish I could frame that sound like a photograph, 'cause time passes faster than a birthday. Pencil marks faded on the door frame remind me of the time we had and all the days we won't get back. Hey Dad, hey Dad, I need for you to know you've always been like a superhero in my mind. Now I realize in all my years I've never seen you cry. Well, you were carrying the world, we both got a little older, but you taught me to share the weight, so put some on my shoulders. Hey Dad, maybe you've been missing someone just to sit and listen and make a joke just to hear you laugh. Wish I could frame that sound like a photograph, 'cause time passes faster than a birthday. Pencil marks faded on the door frame remind me of the time we had and all the days we won't get back. Hey Dad, hey Dad, what a memory. Just found a note that you wrote to me.
Brand new music from our good friend Cassie Joy. She is from Team Blake of NBC's The Voice. That is called Hey Dad, and a great video to that one. You got to check it out on YouTube. We are currently rebranding our TV channel, so it is currently down right now, but it will be back with the best indie country music videos on the planet. We call it ICTV. This next song is inspired by an off-duty officer who was killed in an October car accident. It's the inspiration for a new song, country song relatable to anyone who has raised a child and lost them too soon to tragedy. Corbin Goad was a strong, athletic, and into fitness person. He was also into bodybuilding, a big fan of law enforcement. He looked forward to living his dream, having recently become one of the local sheriff's department's youngest officers. He loved his work and a seemingly bright future ahead until his sudden death devastated the local community, a community that he loved. His father is paying a great tribute to him by co-writing this song with some other fine folks, one of them from Oklahoma, where I spent 20 years as well. This is Corbin's dad, and it is called Gonna Leave. This is gonna leave a mark, all right, on the Tim Kelly Show on KICR Indie Country Radio, New Country's best on New Music Friday.
First day of preschool, balled up fists and curly hair. Wide-eyed, you saw a band of buddies there. Relaxed your fist and grinned, and turned to your new friends. Bye, Daddy, I think I'm gonna leave. And off you went. A few ball games later, suddenly you turned 16. Snapping awkward pics at the DMV. Race your truck to Sonic for chili tots with extra cheese. Thanks, Mama, I think I'm gonna leave. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. But the place we wanna be is where you are. Though now is not the time, you're forever on our minds. We hope you always know we're not too far. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. Left for college, learned some life, but just not happy. A morning text said, this is not my thing. Well, son, you're not alone. It's okay when you know. Pack up and come on home. It's time to leave. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. What matters most is knowing who you are. Though now is not the time, it's okay to change your mind. By now you ought to know we're not too far. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. Got your dream job, met a girl and fell in love. We knew soon you'd move to your own place. We ate, we laughed, we hugged, but it would never be enough. It was the last time here on earth we'd see your face. We got a late night call that broke our hearts and bowed our knees. We believe that there must be a plan that we can't see. When the first responders told us your last words that brought us peace, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. We know somewhere is eternal. Somewhere's full of love and full of joy. Somewhere's a shining city, clear, pure water, golden streets. And somewhere is where God is, and also where you are. And then someday, somewhere is where we'll also be. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. and we believe we know just where you are. Oh, and though it was your time, you're forever on our mind. 'Cause we got hope, and somewhere's not too far. If you say you're gonna leave, you're going somewhere. Oh, and someday down the road, we'll see you somewhere.
You're listening to New Music Friday on KICR Indie Country Radio.
The kind of guy that makes me raise my glass. Blame my heartache in the morning on the Waylon and the Jones. Blame the way they leave me hanging on that Copperhead Road. I'm a good-hearted woman, loves a good time, and God blame the way I forgive them on that walk the line. Well, it's a broken record played again and again. I blame my good taste in music for my bad taste in men. I like the way that they make it laid back. Little smoke, a little drink, never hurt, yeah. Call me an addict, it ain't a habit. When it gets stuck in my head, I gotta have it. So blame my heartache in the morning on the Waylon and the Jones. Blame the way they leave me hanging on that Copperhead Road. I'm a good-hearted woman, loves a good time, and God blame the way I forgive them on that walk the line. Well, it's a broken record played again and again. I blame my good taste in music for my bad taste in men. Ooh. Hey! Earl, Hank, and Haggard make them hard to resist. They lead to bad decisions. I ain't ready to quit. I ain't ready to quit. Blame my heartache in the morning on the Waylon and the Jones. Blame the way they leave me hanging on that Copperhead Road. I'm a good-hearted woman, loves a good time, and God blame the way I forgive them on that walk the line. Well, it's a broken record played again and again. I blame my good taste in music for my bad taste in men. I got good taste in music. I got bad taste in men. Blame my good taste in music for my bad taste in men.
If you have a good taste in music, you're at the right radio station. If you have bad taste in men, you'll appreciate my face for radio, probably. How about that? Miss Taylor Hughes is the artist on that one. Good Taste is the title of the song. She is a Freedom Jammer. That's what we're calling the artists that are going to perform at the Freedom Jam USA Tour. That is coming to St. Louis, Missouri in September 30th. The last day of the month is when that's going to happen. And freedomjamusa.net is what you got to check out on the website. They are also a radio show sponsor of ours. You can check them out on our sponsor tab of our website at KICRIndieCountryRadio.com. After one more song, we're going to get Robbie Hart live with us tonight. She's already been hanging out in our chat room. We're going to put her on the radio and visit with her. So it's going to be a fun night of stories behind the songs and lots more great music to come. This next artist is making his debut right now on the program. His name is Barefoot Joe. Better look this gentleman up. He is fantastic. The song is called Just Plain Crazy on the Tim Kelly Show on KICR, Indie Country Radio, playing new country's best on New Music Friday.
You're a please don't talk to me before coffee cup number 3, and I'ma let's go as soon as the sun shows. I'ma back up, give me space. Need a minute for the smoke to fade, and you're right now. We need to hash it out. We don't make sense. Well, the truth of it is, baby, you're a hot mess, and I'm a work in progress. But somehow we just feel there's no explaining it. Baby, I'm a lost cause, and you're stuck in a free fall. We go round and round, and I've been thinking, man, we're either crazy in love, or just plain crazy. You're a text when you should have called, making me second guess it all, and I'm a no frills. The devil's in the details. I'm a couch and a cold beer. All I need is right here, and you're a downtown. Honey, can you take me out? We don't make sense. Or the truth of it is, baby, you're a hot mess, and I'm a work in progress. But somehow we just feel there's no explaining it. Baby, I'm a lost cause, and you're stuck in a free fall. We go round and round, and I've been thinking, maybe we're either crazy in love, we're just plain crazy. Baby, you're a hot mess, I'm a work in progress. But somehow we just feel there's no explaining it. 'Cause baby, I'm a lost cause, and you're stuck in a free fall. We go round and round, and I've been thinking, maybe we're either crazy in love, or just plain crazy. Just plain crazy. Just plain crazy. Just plain crazy.
Once again, his name is Barefoot Joe. Got to look that song up. It is called Just Plain Crazy, and it's making its debut tonight on the Tim Kelly Show on New Music Friday. Well, my good friend Robbie Hart is with us tonight. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you doing?
Doing fantastic, and thanks for hanging out in our chat room before the show. We've been having a good time and deciding if we want to go to bingo night or not, so we've been having fun.
I'm definitely having a great time connecting with everybody. I missed everybody, and bingo sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know if I have the patience to do the full card.
Yep.
You know, every time that I hear a letter announced, my heart gets a little faint, you know?
Yep.
It's like B, and then you think you have the number, and you don't. It's just... You know, it goes downhill from there.
Yep.
But it's great to be here with you and everybody, and so hi to everybody who's out there listening.
Yeah, hi to you, and thanks for doing the program tonight. It's our second or third interview, and we've talked lots of times before in between, so we're good friends and family here at the radio station. Everybody that comes in our chat room is just like family. They're hanging out in here the whole 3 hours, and I love that.
Absolutely. You always make me feel right at home.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, and our door's always open, and we even throw out a welcome mat once in a while, too. So
that sounds good to me.
Good to have you back. Well, you've been up to a lot of good stuff music-wise, and you got a brand new song and video attached to it that we'll play tonight for you as well. But I want to, for the folks that didn't hear our first interview, ask you how you got started in music. And then I know due to health issues, you had to take some time off, and we'll talk about that too. But how did music start for you, and why country music?
Well, thank you very much for asking. So I always dreamt of being a singer. It was my lifelong dream ever since I was a small child. And like many singers, you know, I was singing well before I was speaking. It was just something I always wanted to do, and I always wanted to pursue as I got older. Unfortunately, you know, life got in the way, and I just didn't have a chance to pursue the dream the way that I wanted to. And I figured, you know, like everybody, there'll always be time later. And, you know, once everything gets settled, I'll go out there and pursue my dream. So, unfortunately, in 2007, I moved to the U.S. to marry my husband, and we were, like, on cloud nine. We just got married, and about a year later, we were expecting our child, and unfortunately got very badly injured, and as a result of my injury and the chronic pain that I was in for several years, I completely lost my ability to sing. Mm-hmm. I, for the first time in my entire life, couldn't sing. I couldn't express myself. And it was the most difficult time of my life because I had been going through something that was extremely difficult, and I was trying to process it, and it was going on for a long period of time, but I just couldn't express myself. I couldn't soothe myself through the music. I couldn't sing my way through the difficult times, and it got to a point where I literally didn't recognize myself. You know, the person that I used to be, which was upbeat and cheerful and optimistic, and, you know, I just became completely devoid of personality and everything. I just really completely lost a sense of who I was, because this was a huge part of my life, and it was something I always wanted to do, and I felt like I had been sidelined and silenced, and it was just a very difficult time for me. But fast forward a couple of years, when my daughter was 2.5, she was diagnosed with autism, and then when she was about 7, I want to say 7 or 8, she was, I think, in 2nd grade, we sat her down and we told her she had autism, and we assured her that there was nothing wrong with that, and we said, you can still achieve all of your dreams, you can do anything, and you can be anything. You have different abilities. It may make things a little more challenging for you, but you can still do anything.
Yeah.
And as I was explaining this to my daughter, I realized that I wasn't pursuing my dream, because here I was at home with a disability that had left me in chronic pain. I wasn't able to sing anymore, and I just gave up my dream. And I realized at that moment that I couldn't leave it there. I couldn't leave it on the table, and I realized that the only way that I was going to teach her what I was trying to tell her was if I went out there and showed her myself. So that was a pivotal moment where I said, that's it. I'm going to go out there and pursue my dream with every single thing that I have, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how unlikely it is, no matter how many doors get slammed in my face, no matter how many times people say, no, you can't come here because, you know, whatever. I didn't care. I said, I have to do this. This is my mission. This is my life's journey. And I took my first steps then, and I haven't looked back since. So that's how I got kick-started on this journey. And I really have my daughter to thank to really getting me out there, because I really wanted to be the best possible role model for her. Yes. And I really wanted her to be able to look at me and be proud of me.
That is such an inspirational story. I've heard it before, but for those who haven't heard it, it is always an inspiration. And I'll tell you what, your daughter is growing up and watching you guys on social media, you know, hanging out. And she just recently celebrated her 14th birthday, isn't that right?
She did. Yes, she did. Thank you. You know,
awesome.
It's amazing because one thing that you just said is so, like, accurate. You know, you see us on social media always palling around and doing things. She is my biggest supporter. She's my biggest inspiration, and I support her, and hopefully inspire her. So together, we're always reaching for the highest heights for each other to really lift each other up. And it's just an incredible relationship. I'm so grateful that I have her in my life. And she's 14. Oh my God, I can't believe it. She's literally almost taller than me, which is, it's sometimes hard to deal with, but I'll take it. Thank goodness she's doing well. So
that's awesome. And you're formerly from Canada. You mentioned, when your husband and you got together, you were in Canada. Now you're in Long Island, New York, and we play a lot of great Canadian country music on the radio program, and we're also doing a special segment with Canadian country with Shane Christopher Neal, a good friend that is also a radio personality at an FM station up there. And I see that you've been getting lots of radio FM airplay, Wyoming, and a bunch of others. So congratulations on all that. But tell us about making that transition from Canada to the U.S. and kind of what that was like too for you.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, so I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always being a supporter of myself and my music and helping, share my music and really help me tell my stories.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel very grateful to be in the position I'm in, that people want to hear what I have to say and that they're sharing my message, and hopefully it's inspiring people. The transition was really interesting because when I first moved from Canada to the U.S., people always joke and they say, well, that's not really a different country. It's like Canada. Canada is like the U.S., is very similar. And that's true. It is a lot different, though. But it wasn't a big deal because I had been coming back and forth for years on the weekends. So it wasn't like a huge transition. Where the transition became extremely evident was when I lost my ability to go back to work, and when I was at home and dealing with a disability and a small child with a disability. It was very isolating. So that part of the transition was extremely difficult. As somebody who's always an overcomer, I underestimated how difficult it would be to be in a situation like that without having support. But it was something that we overcame, and it was something that we grew closer together, and as a result of it, we became tighter and closer, and we learned how to help each other. But, moving to another country isn't that difficult. I think it's sometimes when life throws things at you that you're not planning. Unfortunately, sometimes that can make it a little challenging. And then fast forward to 2020, where the borders were closed and people couldn't travel back and forth, and people in multiple countries weren't able to go home and see family or have family come to them. So I think that part of the transition can become difficult. Yeah. But the actual transition itself was pretty easy. I actually wrote about it in the song 17, where I said heading down south with a truck of my things. And I'll never forget, loading everything into my husband's pickup truck and just driving down south, like straight down south, and, coming in and moving to the U.S. And it was just like an amazing feeling.
That is awesome. I love it, and we are so glad to have you as well here in the U.S. of A. And hopefully one of these days we'll get you in the middle of the country, and maybe we can meet up in person in Branson, and maybe you can hang out with us at a live show, or we can get you in to perform at a live show. That would be awesome as well.
All of those options sound excellent to me. It's always something to consider, and things have a way of working out and lining up, the stars aligning and things working out, and somehow you always just end up where you're supposed to be at the right time.
Absolutely.
So I know that that's going to happen at some point, because we've certainly been talking about this for long enough, right? We're like, hey, we're going to, so that would be really cool. That would be really interesting.
Well, it's neat to meet through the way we do here through the radio station and this live chat room that you were in right before we started tonight, and I sure thank you for that, and you're always a big supporter of the program. I want to give another shout-out, though, to a gentleman that is in here that we just played a song of his son that passed away through a tragic accident, and he was a deputy sheriff and all of that, and you made the comment in the chat room that the songs tonight are already getting to your feelers, and that is, not what we intended to do, but I knew that song and the story would absolutely do that, and the song needs to be heard. It was so good. And I just got it today. It's not officially released until tonight at midnight, but Chester is Corbin's dad, and he's in our chat room right now, and he says, I love that about your story, Robbie. He's a huge disability advocate, and he's done a lot of disability and autism advocacy, and it's so cool. Thanks for sharing that. So.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me just take a moment to say I really enjoyed the song, and I know that it must have been difficult to put out there, but you're helping people, and I'm sure that the song is helping the people who need to hear it, and it certainly resonated within me. I mean, and thank you so much for sharing it, and thank you for your family's service.
Oh, absolutely, and it's got to be nothing tougher on Father's Day coming up in a couple of days than losing a child. So we applaud you for what you're doing to make his memory last through your lifetime, and we absolutely love the song. It is fantastic.
It's absolutely beautiful. The lyrics are so beautiful, and the arrangement is beautiful. We
tag it around here and call it New Country's Best, and it definitely fits the bill. So good job on that, Chester, Corbin's dad. Absolutely. Well, you got some top-notch music as well. This first one we're going to play is called Too Pretty to Be Home. Tell us about this one.
Oh, thank you. I love that song. You know, that song, all of the songs I write are based on my own personal experiences. They're all autobiographical. They're things I've lived through or experienced. This song is about me really being at the top of my game and being all dressed up and having nowhere to go. You know, it's that feeling when you're vibing, you look great, you have your hair done, or you're wearing something fantastic. Maybe you're about to go out and your plans get canceled at the last moment, and you just look and feel amazing, and you're not ready to let go of that vibe just yet. You know, so what do? So basically you turn the radio up really loud, you sing and dance, and you have a party of your own. And in my case, I'm duetting with Garth Brooks. So I'm imagining that Garth and I are singing, and I asked Trisha Yearwood if it's okay first, and I says, hope she doesn't mind. We're going to be in my room together. We're going to be singing a duet, but that's okay. But it's a fun song. It's a really fun song. The energy is really fun, and I just loved recording the song.
Yeah, that's what's interesting about you, and I'm sure that's true of a lot of other artists. But you always turn to music as therapy, and that's what I love about you. And it touches so many lives in a 3 or 4 minute song, and tells such great stories. And that's what I love about country music, and why I love doing these interviews, is because I want to hear the stories behind these songs, and that is great.
I agree 100%. And, if it's a good story, a bad story, a sad story, an unsettled story, that there's somebody out there who's going through something similar. And when they hear that, they hear the song, or they hear a key lyric, and they go, oh my God, I'm not alone, or oh my God, that song could have been written about me. They literally find themselves in your story. There's no greater feeling than that as a songwriter, where you're able to make that connection on such a personal level with complete strangers.
And then the story of Chester and Corbin's dad in our chat room, the struggle to even want to put that song out there, or should I do it, or when should I do it, or this or that, and I know he went through all of that too. And we love the song, and we're sure glad you put it out there. So congratulations. Well, we're going to play Too Pretty to Be at Home with Robbie Hart on The Tim Kelly Show on KICR Indie Country Radio, playing New Country's Best on this New Music Friday. We'll come back and talk some more.
Another day gone by, and just the blink of an eye, keep staring at these walls that sleep. The city's been crawling, waiting all week long to let my head down. Got all glammed up to have a light on the town. I'm ready to rock and roll. It's so damn good to let go. Radio cranking out my favorite tonight. ready to move home.
Once again, her name is Robbie Hart, live with us tonight. That is called Too Pretty to Be Home, and a great story behind that song, and she's doing that duet with Garth Brooks. If you miss Garth's voice in there, we'll get you the remix version of that song.
Yeah, you know the funniest part is I'm having this mad duet with him. He doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know.
He just doesn't even know.
Well, you know, that's one of the questions that I ask, mainly of the new artist, but what is your dream gig if there's an artist that you would like to open for on the big stage or do a duet with? We know Garth, but who are some other names that we might know that really influenced you in country music?
Well, the people that have influenced me aren't necessarily the same people I'd love to duet with.
Okay.
So if that's okay, I'll break them down. I think I've said this before to you. I'm a huge Roy Orbison fan. He was my absolute favorite singer in the entire world. So he is my absolute favorite. He's number one in my heart, always will be. Nobody will top Roy ever. You know, I love Meatloaf. I was a Meatloaf fan as well. I still am a Meatloaf fan. And Juice Newton, I love her voice, and I always loved listening to her. You know, of course, I love Shania Twain and Martina McBride, but when I'm talking about the people that actually shaped the way that I saw music, you know, it was really the people that I first named. But if you want to know who I want to duet with, wow, okay, Luke Combs, Chris Stapleton, and Darius Rucker. Oh my gosh.
Oh, there you go.
Those are my three tops. But you know what? I mean, I would be happy with quite a few others, but there's something about their personas, their music, the way that they handle themselves. I'm drawn to their persona, and they just really resonate with me. They're really people I enjoy listening to, and I would be honored to share the stage with. There are plenty of people who'd be honored to perform with. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, I would love to sing with Tennille Townes, but you know, but there are some people like my favorite ones would be definitely Luke Combs and Chris Stapleton, and of course Darius Rucker, just because his voice is liquid gold.
And you mentioned some of the females in country music. How about this new girl that we were playing her as an independent artist, but her name is Lainey Wilson. She is just absolutely killing it.
Oh my gosh, she is. Okay, so I'm going to back it up there. I'm going to change one of my answers. No, I'm just joking. Okay, Lainey Wilson. So you know when you see somebody and you say that person's going to make it, that person's got star power? Like, so I couldn't believe when I heard she'd been out for like 10 years and that she just made it. Because she, like, encompasses the entire star power in her behavior, the way she acts, the way she handles herself, her stage presence, her voice, like everything to me, she screams star. And the other person who, the first time I heard one of her songs, I was in the car and I was listening to the radio, and I said, that person's going to be a star. It was Megan Maroney.
Yeah.
And I said, I heard Tennessee Orange. I just heard the first time I heard Tennessee Orange, I'm like, that song, that girl's going to be a star. And then I heard her song Lucky, and I was like, yeah, there you go. She's got it. Star power, star everything. And you can just sometimes tell because it's just part of who they are. And it's, you know, some people, this is going to sound awful. Some people, you know, wear the clothes, they sing the songs, and they're great. And then there's some people that just come on, they're wearing the same clothes, but they just completely blow you away. Mm-hmm. It's like part of their presence, and it's just something that you can't touch. It's not something that you can, you know, it's just incredible. And Lainey Wilson, in my opinion, has that.
Yep.
She's got
I agree, and it all started with Things a Man Ought to Know. That was the song that really took off for her, and then now she's got this Heart Like a Truck. Even Dodge Ram commercials are playing that, you know, and she's on Yellowstone, you know. If that series comes back for season 5, we're going to be all over that. We've been watching all of those, but she's been on some of those, and so, you know, and that's what I love about the country music videos, and that's why I started the TV channel a few years ago, because there's so much great acting out there that you guys do when you make a video, and you just recently did it to your latest single, you know, and I love hearing the stories behind that too, because that is a whole nother cool process.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's just another dimension, you know. So when, as a singer and songwriter, when you're putting out your story and you're telling, you know, the story in the song, and you know you're bringing it to life with the vocals and the instrumentation, and each time you take a breath while you're singing, like all of those things contribute to telling the story. When you do a video, and you really bring it to life. It just adds more dimension, and it's just so much. It's a lot of fun to fill that space with more, ways of communicating what you mean, or some little nuance, and I just love it. I love the opportunity to do that for my songs.
Well, you're absolutely fantastic at it, and people are going to recognize you, and they already are, because you're nominated for a couple of Josies, I believe, this year, and you've already won a couple of ISSA awards. Isn't that right?
I have, yes, thank you. So last year I was nominated for 5 ISSA awards and 3 Josie Music Awards, and I came home from Atlanta with 2 ISSA awards. I won for Songwriter of the Year and for Single of the Year for my song Outside My Window. And this year I'm nominated for 3 Josie Music Awards, and I'm just absolutely honored and very, very humbled to be among the nominees for those awards. Thank you.
Now, I wasn't sure exactly on the ISSA awards, and I've met Tammany in Nashville back in 2018. Awesome lady. And she's got this ISSA Awards, has 3 different levels. There's a gold and a silver and a bronze. Now, if you win the gold, I believe you get to be a judge the next year. Isn't that right?
That's
now,
correct.
I don't know if that happened to you. Did that happen for you?
Oh, it happened to me, and
Awesome.
I'm thrilled and honored to be a judge this year. I'm so happy that I get to participate in the process, and I'm over the moon. Last year I went, I didn't know many people, and I walked out of their family. I met so many people that I had connected with online, that musicians that I had met on shows like yourself and in your chat rooms. I met so many people that I had previously known that I connected with in person, and then I met a whole bunch of other people I'd never met in my life, and I literally walked out of their family. And it was just such an incredible feeling, that we're all creators of the music, and most of us in similar genres, and there was support. It was all a very supportive community, and it's just amazing to be part of it. So I'm actually going to be going back this year as a judge. I'm going to be performing at the after party, but I'm really going also to support all of the artists I know who are out there getting nominated for awards this year, because it's just an incredible feeling.
Yeah, that is awesome. And
Thank you.
you're getting worldwide radio airplay by doing this show, and you've done others in the same fashion. You told us before we got on the air tonight, when I read all of the stations that replay this program, you're like, you're everywhere. Well, we actually
You are everywhere.
and it happens with just a push of a button when it's internet radio. We just hope that enough people can find this show, and not because of my voice or what we're trying to accomplish with myself, but to hear this music. The music is what it's all about, and it's always been that way from day one for me. And I told you that in the chat room. It's all about the music, because it's better than what I think is playing right now on mainstream radio for the most part. And
all I'm going to say to you is, if you go into the chat room and you look at the chat comments, I was like, that's an amazing song. This is an amazing song. Oh my God, and some of these songs I've literally never heard before, but you're absolutely right. They rival songs that are on mainstream radio, and they're, if not better. And I can't even tell you what a privilege it is to be played on a station that plays such great music. It's a great feeling.
Well, we appreciate that, and that's exactly the way we want to program it. Is we want the next song to be like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Type deal, and people go research that voice, and that by doing that they find artists like Robbie Hart. And you got a great last name, and I saw a comment that you put about that, because you have a big heart. Your husband has a big heart. Your daughter has a big heart, and we absolutely love you guys, and
Thank you.
Getting to watch you guys, tell your stories on social media, and your daughter grow up that way and everything. And I was actually, before the show, looking at an article that you were featured in on UK radio, countryradio.com. They did a great write-up on you, so that's kind of what I was looking at before the show tonight, to kind of refamiliarize myself with you. And but you've been on here a few times, and so it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You are so genuine, and that's what I love about the indie artist too.
Thank you. It's funny because I get interviewed quite a lot, and I always appreciate the opportunity to connect with people and to share my story. But talking to you is always like talking to an old friend. Honestly, it's always so much fun. I mean, you really make me feel welcome, and the people in the chat room are awesome. They always make me feel so welcome. So thank you so much.
And you got the old part right too.
Well, I think we can all say that we're all older today than we were yesterday.
That's right.
So I think we're all in the same boat.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Reason to Rise is a great song, too, and has a great story behind it, and we want to rise tomorrow, that's for sure. But tell us your reason to rise and why you wrote this song.
Well, thank you for asking about that. This is actually the most personal song I've ever written and shared publicly. You know, this song really talks about my journey, the 14 years prior, that I explained about my injury and the years I spent in a difficult situation where I wasn't able to sing anymore. And Reason to Rise is the journey of self-discovery that I was on, where I discovered that music and my daughter were these two parallel forces that at the same time gave me breath, and they literally intertwined, and they raised me up, and they gave me a reason to rise above my most difficult times, and they gave me purpose. And through this journey, on my journey of pain, I found my purpose, and it gave me a reason to rise, and it really showed me who I was as a person. I found who I was, and I actually got to have the relationship with enjoying learning about who I was, discovering my inner strength, discovering who I was, and I really hope that this song gives hope to people who feel like they're never going to be in a situation that's going to change, or that they're hopeless. I hope it gives them a spark of hope. And what's
awesome.
Thank you. What's really interesting is how, they say sometimes like life imitates art or art imitates life. I released this song in September, and like I said, this was a very personal song for me to share, and really talking about the lowest point of my life. But the focus wasn't on me being down; it was about me getting back up, and that during all this time I had these incredible things in my life, my daughter and my music and my family, who lifted me up and gave me a reason. And shortly after that, I was in a car accident in November, and as a result, I've spent the last few months at home recovering, and it's funny how the song came back around full circle.
Yeah.
And it reminded me that even though I was going through something extremely difficult and it was completely unforeseen, that music once again was my reason to rise. My daughter once again was my reason to rise, and it really reinforced that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need to get back up, and these two incredible forces were there once again to lift me up.
Well, congratulations on all of that, and your brand
Thank
new
you.
one we're going to play at the top of the hour and kick off hour
Thank
number
you.
2 with it, called Sticks and Stones. Great video to that one, and you did make
Thank you.
make a video to Reason to Rise as well, didn't you?
I did, yes. And so that was shot at a really gorgeous farm. My friend has a farm out east. It's the Little Red Barn in Jamesport, New York. It's absolutely magical. And she hosted us to film the video there, and it was just magical. It was just an incredible shoot, shooting and filming that day for that beautiful video. And it was just such an amazing experience.
Aren't they fun?
You know what? There's a lot of work that goes into shooting a music video, but sometimes the things that I don't think I'm going to love the most are the most random elements, or like some B-roll things that I end up really loving, and I it's not like the big major scenes. It's just some little element or a little detail that I look at and I go, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, you're really cool. Your music's really cool. And
Thank you.
Yeah, keep being cool, and we will definitely see you. And keep cool this summer, too. I know about it's even hot in Canada now. Can you believe it?
It is hot in Canada, and I'm going to be going to Canada soon.
Are you?
So, yeah, we're going to go visit some family. So
Awesome. Well, have a safe trip, and keep us posted
Thank
on
you.
what's going on with you. And when you want to come back in a few months, man, hit me up, and we'll do this again. It's always a pleasure.
I absolutely will. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Her name is Robbie Hart. And one more thing I want to ask you real quick is, where can folks find you on social media if they want to read your story and find out some more about you?
You can visit my website. It's robbiehart.com. That's ROBBIEHARTE.com. There are links to all my socials and streaming sites, or you can look for me on social media. I'm at Robbie Hart Official, ROBBIEHARTE Official.
There you go. Robbie Hart with an E on the end of it. HARTE. Robbie Hart. Absolutely love your music, and keep making it. You are fantastic, and we wish you
Thank
all
you
the
so
success
much.
in the world. Yeah, and we're definitely going to keep playing you on the radio. That is for sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support.
You got it. This is called Reason to Rise on the Tim Kelly Show on KICR Indie Country Radio, New Country's Best on New Music Friday.
Shut out from the inside, nowhere to go, with no place to hide, in a state I didn't know, afraid to let my feelings show, not to wake and cry, swallowed my pride, but love you made me fight, and brought me back to life. I was broken and battered and nothing else mattered. You shine your light on me. With my faith to the test, on my fears put to rest. You gave me something to believe. How I breathe and I heal. You're all that is real. My future's in your eyes. You're my reason to rise, the world to face, getting up again, my saving grace, but I couldn't see it then. I was lost without a trace, my whole life before erased, everything to gain. Let go of the pain. Love you made me fight and brought me back to life. I was broken and battered and nothing else mattered. You shine your light on me. With my faith to the test, all my fears put to rest. You gave me something to believe. How I breathe and I heal. You're all that is real. See the future in your eyes. You're my reason to rise. You're my silver lining, my hope that keeps shining. Why I so fine? I was broken and battered and nothing else mattered. You shine your light on me. With my faith to the test, all my fears put to rest. You gave me something to believe. How I breathe and I heal. You're all that is real. I see the future's in your eyes. You gave me reason to rise. When I needed to feel this love that is real, my future realized. You're my reason to rise.
Another hour of the best in new country starts now on Indie Country Radio, New Country's Best.
Started out on the right track. Yeah, I thought you had my back. We were on the same page, but then you started